She returns. Hello, Past Damien. It's the 1st of October. You know what that means? Well, I think it means two things. First of all, it means Unreleasable Volumes 4.6 is out, and it also means that it is Inktober. Now, I've been drawing for a while, but I am not really particularly adept to drawing in ink or pen or paint, or paint is not ink. My point is basically I sporadically decided I wanted to jump onto the Inktober bandwagon, but I already failed because I'm not drawing in ink. But I guess the spirit is still there, like I drew something. It was really hasty and like I spent like 30 minutes on it, and it's almost midnight, but it's done and it's posted on Instagram. Speaking of which, if you follow this series and somehow did not come from Instagram, you can follow me at POST_HIDING. Pro tip, if you ever feel sleepy but you don't want to drink coffee, or you've already drank coffee and it doesn't work, just drink water. Like a lot of water. You can't fall asleep when you constantly feel like you have to pee. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the third thing that the 1st of October means is this is no longer relevant anymore.
Oh, that one pops up really easily. Goodbye, September.
So I watched your video and I made a little list of what's different between PD and FD. So let's talk about it. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. The two similarities from the past and the future. First of all, Shinrei has not completed the Minecraft tower. In the future, same. Second of all, Stanley loves value for food, demonstrated when he popped by just in time for the food. Same. Cut to... oh shit, what day was it? 18th of August, I think.
Damn, you get $10 voucher. Yes! Pay even more money. Fuck yes, okay.
Now the first thing that he mentions is that as you made and continue making this series as Past Damien, you made less talking head segments and more live action segments, more content that's focused around other people rather than yourself talking to a camera like what I am doing now. But then as I continue making the series, that kind of reversed. So the simplest explanation for that is that when circumstances change, we have to adapt to them. What am I talking about? I'm obviously talking about internship. Like, I can't film a lot of stuff outside of home and at work. So to adapt using whatever limited time that I have, obviously the content is gonna come from here, in this room. Now the next thing they say is you feel like you're losing your ability to talk to the camera enthusiastically, like you're actually like regaining camera shyness in a way, which is not really expected. But to be fair, I feel like one possible explanation is that it's a positive reinforcement cycle where the less you film of yourself, the less you are training yourself to talk to the camera, and thus the less adept that you will be at it. On the other hand, I myself have been talking to the camera a lot more, as you have seen, and with a lot more enthusiasm that I thought that would have considering internship. Part of that is due to a circumstance change, as I said, and having to adapt, but part of it is also like what I mentioned before about like the kind of stuff that I see, how things in the industry are being done, how entertainment content is being created. Like doing a pickup shot when something messes up is like so normal. It's so like the norm, and it doesn't bother people. Is there anything else I'm supposed to say about this point? I feel like there is, but next point. As of right now, you say that you're behind by one video. I think I know which one it is. When you completed your run at the end of May, this is spoilers by the way, you had not completed that video. That video was only done after you filmed and completed and wrapped the series in the past. Not to mention that you also had a little drop off after point and shoot ended, where you like flat out like didn't edit stuff. Like you shot stuff, but you just didn't edit it together. In the future, the two things that affected my schedule the most is, first of all, internship obviously, and having to adapt to that, as we've already mentioned like 3 times by now, but secondly also getting sick. And this is really similar to your situation, Past Damien, because the two things that affected you in the past is, one, not internship, it's production. The second thing is also sickness. The 2 times that you got sick basically, which is that one video that I mentioned before and another video that's gonna come in the next month, you also drop it. You also find it really hard to edit. It's still a hassle to pull yourself to the seat and sit there for at least 2 hours to edit it together. But there's no excuse over here, which is why I put out 2 really shitty videos. But to me, there's a lot less going on in my life than compared to yours, and so I feel like as long as I'm getting content out every 2 days, it doesn't always have to be good, even though it's preferable, of course. I'm also more adept at keeping up to this schedule because of you, Past Damien, because you have been practicing, even though you're not perfect. You've been practicing making and editing and publishing these videos like you were going to publish them in the past. That sense of commitment to this project has really like drilled in a sort of practice, a discipline that has helped me to continue making this series as Future Damien. So those live action segments, let's talk about those live action segments, shall we? So Past Damien, right now you are really obsessed with capturing that live action narrative. You get really concerned about making sure that you've captured the right moments and that you've captured enough. And also that you've captured the twists and turns because you're actually documenting things as they go along. Like you're filming a documentary pretty much every 2 days or every day even. Where compared to this is a really controlled environment. You pretty much know what's going to happen here because I'm the one who's talking. But where there's changed between you and me is that I feel a lot more relaxed. I feel like I'm not as obsessed about making sure that I capture all the perfect moments. And like you bring out this camera and this microphone to shoot pretty much all of your live action. Whereas me, I don't really do that anymore. I either bring out that, in comparison, rather shitty white camera, or I use my phone. And the reason why I do this is because it's a lot more convenient. Even though the audio quality might be a lot worse and the visuals are definitely not as crisp, but the convenience of like setting up and getting a shot really easily kind of preserves the authenticity of the moment. Your equipment process takes up a lot of setup time and it just drains you. It really does. Speaking of draining, you mentioned that you feel like PDFD has affected your life in some way and that you view your day-to-day as like moments of, do I need to film this? And I remember what you were feeling. You were feeling that your lens in which you view life and like the world around you has sort of changed in this unexplainable way. Maybe it's because I'm a lot less uptight about capturing everything around me. And maybe it's because I actually can't film like most of my day-to-day stuff. But I do think there's a change in attitude there where I feel a lot less anxious about making content. I trust myself in the way that in the event that at the end of the 2 days I don't have content, that I am able to make something. And Past Damien, that's something that you don't have yet because you're still experiencing this and you're still nervous about making videos and you're still I've already said inexperienced, right? Basically what I'm trying to say is that the more that you do this, the more confident you'll be and the less worried you'll become. Past Damien, please continue doing this series because I am going to continue doing this series one day at a time. And you will too.